Alright, hello everybody and welcome to this little demo video / tutorial about the CCF registration user interface version 0.5.0. My name's Andy, I'm one of the developers of the system, and I'm really glad to show you how to use it properly. So, as you know, it's accessible via this web link. You're going to find it in the description of this video. As you load the page, make sure to click this little full screen button, alternatively press F11. Here we go, we're now in full screen mode. This is the so-called check-in page. This is what you see when you first load the application. So as you can see here, I'm going to type in my first name. My full name is Andreas. Then I go over here to last name. I type in my last name, and there we go. Now, as you can see, currently only the kidney is supported for the registration UI. In the future, we're planning to also support the heart, the lung, and the spleen. So I'm going to choose the kidney here, and I click Next. So this is the registration interface proper. You can see that we have a human kidney here on the left. You can also see that we have on the inside two-dimensional the inner structures of the kidney. Here on the right side we have a representation of a tissue slice that we want to register. Here on the right we have the tissue sample size in millimeters. So for the sake of this example, I'm going to resize that to 20 by 20 by, let's say, 1. Here we go. Now our sample here is resized. Let me actually change the width to 12. Here we go. So, as you can see, if I drag and drop the tissue slice, I can move it around my scene. You can also see that there is a grid overlaid over the kidney. And then as I move, watch what happens to this coordinate text here. As I move my sliver onto the grid, we can see the current position of the sliver in millimeters as well. Another thing I can do is I can toggle to a so-called side view. So then I see the kidney from the side and I see the Y and Z dimensions here. And then I can position my sliver from this side as well. So let's just say it was taken from here. Let's say the kidney was cut in half. Then we have this tissue slice here. Now I can go back over here, maybe reposition it slightly. Such that it is over here. There we go. All right. So that's the front side toggle button. You're probably going to be using this quite a bit. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to resize any of the position or sizing or rotation that you did, you can just click those reset buttons here. Now actually, while we're talking about it, let's go ahead and rotate our sliver around the center mass point, like so. All right. And then once you're done with your positioning, you can go ahead and open the 3D preview here. So just click the 3D preview button, and then you can actually, by dragging your left mouse button, you can move a three-dimensional camera around the kidney so that you have a better three-dimensional impression with depth cues where exactly your slice is positioned. You can close this view by clicking the 3D preview button again. So far for this step, which is the actual registration. Now we come to, we're going to get our data out of the application. So I click on Next here, and now we can review our data. So we have my first name, last name. We have the current date. That is the current date of the current alignment. We generated an alignment ID for you automatically. This is automatically generated every time you register a new slice. A reference organ ID. This is currently just a static string. In future versions, this is going to be probably dynamically linked to a database, but this is to be determined. And then we have the data we generated. We have the tissue position on the grid in millimeters, the tissue rotation that we typed in, as well as the tissue size, also in millimeters. And then I can go ahead and copy this to the clipboard. And this is important. I can copy the clipboard, and then this window opens, and then you have to hit Control-C on a Windows machine or Apple button and C on a Mac to actually copy the string. And then you can paste it into any application you desire. Click OK. And then this new button shows up called Register New Tissue. So when I click this, I'm being taken back to the first screen where my data is still in there. So we still want to register kidney, right? Then your old values are still saved. So if you register a lot of similar slices, you can do that rather easily here. So in this case, let's just be simple and just change the size, maybe something like this. Also change the rotation a tad. Good enough. Here we go, and you click next. And then we have a new alignment ID. We have the current date and time. Name is still the same. And here we have the new values. And we can copy the clipboard again and then copy this string manually and paste it into any application your heart desires. All right. You can also go back between screens by clicking this back button, and then continue by clicking the next button. In the top right corner, you're going to find a little info screen about the current version of this interface with a bunch of links with more information. All right, thank you so much. This was a very short introduction into this current prototype. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much.